What's up, Fleet? Forgotten Fox here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Tier 6 French premium destroyer, the Aigle. The Aigle translates to eagle in English, and the destroyer was designed on the premise that it would be an enemy destroyer hunter, a trait which she definitely brings back to Blitz. Many of you are probably watching this wondering how to play her, and that is the question that I'm here to answer. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. For slot 1, the Aigle has two main options. Her 5 139mm guns have an absolutely absurd amount of DPM at the cost of very low velocity shells with high ballistic arcs and very slow turret traverse. As such, there are two options for your slot 1 equipment, either the main battery traverse speed or main battery gun rammer. I chose the gun rammer because the one thing you do not want if you're playing a destroyer is to run into an Aigle running a full DPM build. Now, the Aigle is no slouch either, as her maximum speed with boost is 43 knots. So I chose to spec my Aigle for full acceleration and speed build, as this allows you to pull off some absolutely ludicrous torpedo beats, and it allows you to get in and take caps and then get out quick before the bigger threats show up. Supply-wise is pretty simple. The Aigle is not the world's stealthiest destroyer by any stretch of the imagination, so I went with the three that increase her guns, her handling, and her health. At the point of writing this review, there are only 2 French commanders in the game, and 3 French premiums, so I'm actually running my Dunkirk commander on my Aigle, as the commander skills are very similar between the both ships. If you are planning on speccing a commander specifically for the Aigle, the skills that are absolutely necessary are Master Reloader to maximize your rapid reload, Engine Overload to maximize your engine accelerator, and either Inertia Fuse High Explosive, which will allow you to penetrate far heavier targets with your HE, or Armor Piercing Cap Shells, which will allow your AP shells to penetrate most battleships and devastate destroyers. Camouflage-wise, the Aigle Historical Camouflage gives you slightly longer range on both your main battery guns and your torpedoes, while increasing your max speed and decreasing your surface detection. If you cannot afford the gold price in order to get the premium Historical Camouflage, your other options are the Torpedo Squad Camouflage, which will increase your torpedo tube statistics, as well as traverse speed and surface detection, or you can consider running the Roar of Steel Camouflage, which will buff up both your ship hit points and your main battery guns, which are the bread and butter of the Aigle. Ship skills. The Aigle brings 2 brand new ship skills to the game, Engine Accelerator 3 and Rapid Reload 2. Both of these skills help improve the high points of the Aigle, making it quite the adversary when its skills are in use. You do have 2 options for your elite skill, either Destroyer Modernization or Elite Gun Operator. And seeing how I've already kitted my Aigle for complete DPM build as is, I went for Elite Gun Operator. Now, going into the gameplay, you can see right off the bat how fast the Engine Accelerator 3 brings the Aigle from a standstill up to its maximum speed. This allows you to quickly take caps early on and contest the enemy team from getting key points early in the battle. With the extra hit point supplies, the Aigle starts with 17,000 health, making it the healthiest destroyer in Tier 6. Seeing how it also has the highest straight line speed with boost of any Tier 6 destroyer, this means that you can not only get to the cap, but once you're there, you can definitely make yourself known to any other destroyers attempting to capture the base. The best rule with the Aigle is that once you start firing, you should never stop firing. As you can see, the enemy destroyer quickly realizes that he's outmatched by my Aigle, and he tries to turn away, but not before I continue to pummel his ship with 139mm HE shells and a torpedo to finish him off. I did see, however, that he had a Nuremberg with him, and already I know the Nuremberg launched torpedoes. So watch how I pump speed boost in reverse, and with a maxed acceleration Aigle, I am actually able to successfully dodge his torpedoes and continue pummeling him. Now, again, the Aigle does have amazing HE shells, but her AP shells are not bad either. While they do lose penetration over range, in close proximity to the enemy ships, they can deal tremendous damage to destroyers, cruisers, and even some lightly armored battleships. This replay, provided to me by Hiromi Isamu, shows the destructive power of the Aigle's broadside AP on this enemy York, dealing up to 400 damage per penetration. While the AP does penetrate quite well on broadsides, when the York starts angling, Hiromi correctly switches to high explosive shells. The Aigle has quite an impressive fire chance for a destroyer, and with 5 139mm guns and very lofty HE shells, the fire chance on the guns can deal tremendous damage to anyone who lets the fires burn, or if you catch someone without a damage control, you can almost burn them down straight to the waterline. Upon seeing the Nicholas presenting quite the enticing broadside, Hiromi switches back to the Aigle's AP, which not only damages considerable chunks of the Nicholas, but is able to finish off the York from range. Now, another thing to consider with the Aigle is the amount of broadside required to get all 5 guns to bear. While not as restrictive in its firing angles as it is on PC, the Aigle does require you to give quite the hefty broadside in order to bring all 5 guns on target, which can open you up to receiving quite considerable damage from enemy battleships. The Aigle, being the healthiest Tier 6 destroyer, has quite the large profile, meaning that enemy AP shells are more likely to get lodged in it than a lot of the thinner, less armored destroyers that you're likely to run into. Now, Hiromi, having learned that lesson well, has flanked around the New Mexico to avoid his guns, and has received a considerable amount of damage in the process. The Aigle is fast in a straight line, but all that extra health comes at a different penalty, being that you have a fairly large turning circle. Having just cheated death by escaping the New Mexico, Hiromi then comes under fire by the enemy Aigle. So instead of shooting back, Hiromi's guns go silent as he attempts to drop off radar, not realizing that he is about to run face to face into the enemy Dunkirk. A quick check of the minimap and lack of awareness on the Dunkirk's part, Hiromi is able to get his torpedo salvo off on the Dunkirk as he continues to take a beating, barely surviving on only 2 health. And while he didn't get the kill in the Dunkirk, Hiromi has demonstrated the impressive capabilities of the Aigle in the right hands, and I'd like to thank him for sending in this replay. This should conclude the review of the Tier 6 Premium French destroyer, the Aigle. I would recommend this ship to anyone looking to go into either the Russian destroyer or British light cruiser lines, as the Aigle is the perfect blend between DD and CL. A word of caution, however, the Aigle has a fairly high skill ceiling, and aggressive or inexperienced captains will find themselves being sent back to port far sooner than they would like if they happen to overextend or get themselves into a bad situation with their speed. The Aigle is an amazing destroyer killer with her guns and torpedoes, but you cannot run in gung-ho and expect to brute force your way through every single situation you encounter. Just play off your speed and your guns and either outgun or outrun your opponent, and you should expect handsome rewards playing the Aigle. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below on which premium ship you would like to see me review next. This is Forgotten Fox, signing off.